Hello, and welcome to tonight's seasonal slumber journey. I'm the Drowsy Professor, your companion through the peaceful depths of winter's embrace. As you prepare for your own night's rest, let me know where in the world you're nestling in and what time the winter darkness has brought to your region. Now, sink deeper into your comfortable sanctuary, feel the natural rhythm of seasonal sleep calling to you, and let's explore together a world where humans surrender to winter's gentle invitation to profound rest. Chapter 1. The First Chill. As the leaves begin their gentle transformation from green to gold, something remarkable starts happening within your body. Picture yourself walking through an autumn afternoon, feeling that familiar crispness in the air that signals summer's end. But in this world, that seasonal change triggers something far more profound than simply reaching for a warmer jacket. Deep within your cells, ancient mechanisms that have lain dormant for millennia begin to stir, responding to signals that your ancestors once knew but modern humans have forgotten. The transformation begins so subtly that you might not notice it first. Perhaps you find yourself lingering a little longer in bed each morning, not from laziness, but from a growing heaviness in your limbs that feels almost pleasant. Your body temperature, which has remained steadily around 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit throughout your life, begins to fluctuate in ways that would have alarmed doctors in the old world, but now represent the first whispers of your body's preparation for its long winter rest. Imagine sitting by a window on one of these early autumn days, watching the light change from the bright intensity of summer to the softer, more golden tones that herald the approaching season. Your breathing has become slightly deeper, more deliberate, as if your lungs are learning to extract more oxygen from each breath in preparation for the months ahead, when your respiratory rate will slow to barely perceptible levels. This isn't distress or illness, it's adaptation, your body remembering how to enter a state that will carry you safely through the cold months. The first changes occur in your hypothalamus, that ancient part of your brain that governs so many of your body's automatic functions. As the days grow shorter and the angle of sunlight shifts, specialized cells begin producing different combinations of hormones than they have all summer long. Melatonin production increases gradually, not in the sharp spike that once brought ordinary sleep, but in a sustained elevation that will eventually guide you into something far deeper and more restorative than any night's rest. Your appetite begins to shift in fascinating ways during these early weeks of autumn. Foods that once appealed to you, the light salads and cool drinks of summer, hold less interest now. Instead, you find yourself drawn to richer, more substantial fare. Your body craves fats and proteins with an intensity that surprises you, an ancient wisdom guiding you to build the reserves that will sustain you through the long sleep ahead. You might find yourself enjoying nuts and seeds with unusual enthusiasm, your body recognizing these foods as perfect fuel for the transformation taking place within your cells. Picture yourself preparing and eating one of these autumn meals, savoring the rich flavors of foods that your body now recognizes as essential. The act of eating becomes more mindful, more deliberate, as if your subconscious understands that each meal is building towards something important. Your digestive system has begun subtle changes of its own, becoming more efficient at extracting and storing nutrients, particularly the fats that will provide slow-burning energy during the months when eating will become unnecessary. Sleep patterns start to shift during these early weeks, but not in the way you might expect. Rather than sleeping more, you initially find yourself sleeping differently. Your dreams become more vivid and seem to carry different qualities than summer dreams. There's often a sense of preparation in these nocturnal visions, as if your subconscious mind is rehearsing for the great rest to come. You wake feeling not tired, but somehow heavier, as if sleep itself has begun to settle more deeply into your bones. The social aspects of this transformation begin to emerge as others around you experience similar changes. Conversations take on different qualities during these autumn weeks. There's less urgency in daily interactions, a growing sense that the frantic pace of summer activities is giving way to something more contemplative and inward-focused. People speak more softly, move more deliberately, as if the entire community is unconsciously preparing for the great quieting that winter will bring. Your skin begins to change during this period, becoming slightly thicker and developing better insulation properties. This isn't a dramatic transformation, but rather a gradual adaptation that occurs so naturally you might not notice it except for the way fabrics feel different against your skin. Clothing that once felt comfortable in summer now seems insufficient, while heavier garments that would have been stifling in the heat now feel perfectly suited to your body's changing needs. The cardiovascular changes that begin during this period represent some of the most remarkable adaptations your body will undergo. Your heart rate begins a gradual decline from summer levels, not due to any weakness or illness, but as part of an elegant preparation for the months ahead when it will need to maintain life while beating only a fraction of its normal rate. Blood vessels begin subtle changes that will eventually allow them to function efficiently even when blood flow slows to levels that would be dangerous in a non-hibernating human. Picture yourself taking a gentle walk during one of these autumn afternoons, noticing how your body moves differently than it did just weeks before. Your gait has become more measured, your breathing deeper and more rhythmic. The urgency that once drove you to hurry from one activity to another has given way to a more contemplative pace that allows you to notice details in your environment that previously escaped your attention. Your brain chemistry undergoes fascinating changes during this preparatory period. Neurotransmitter production shifts in ways that naturally reduce anxiety and promote a sense of calm acceptance. The stress hormones that once spiked in response to daily challenges begin to level out, creating a biochemical environment that supports the profound rest your body is preparing to enter. This isn't sedation or depression, but rather a natural rebalancing that allows your consciousness to prepare for a different state of being. Temperature regulation becomes more sophisticated during these autumn weeks. Your body develops an enhanced ability to conserve heat, while also becoming more tolerant of cooler temperatures. What once would have felt uncomfortably cold now seems merely refreshing. Your extremities, hands and feet that might have grown cold easily in the past now maintain comfortable warmth even as ambient temperatures drop, a sign that your circulation is adapting to support the coming hibernation. The changes in your metabolism during this period are perhaps the most profound of all the transformations taking place. Your basal metabolic rate begins a gradual decline that will eventually slow to a fraction of its summer levels. This isn't starvation or illness, but rather an elegant biological reprogramming that allows your body to extract maximum benefit from stored resources. Each calorie consumed during these preparatory weeks is utilized with increasing efficiency, your body learning to do more with less in preparation for the months when external food sources will become irrelevant. Your immune system undergoes its own fascinating preparation during this autumn period. Rather than weakening, it actually becomes more robust in certain ways, developing enhanced capabilities to maintain health during the vulnerable period of deep hibernation. White blood cell production shifts to create reserves that will protect you during the long sleep, while other immune functions prepare to operate at reduced levels while maintaining essential protective capabilities. Picture yourself spending time outdoors during these autumn days, feeling your body's growing connection to the natural cycles that surround you. The changing colors of leaves, the shifting patterns of wildlife behavior, the quality of light and air, all of these external changes seem to resonate with the transformations taking place within your own cells. You begin to understand viscerally what indigenous peoples have always known. The human beings are not separate from natural cycles, but are intimately connected to the rhythms of the earth and seasons. Your sense of time begins to shift during this preparatory period in ways that are both subtle and profound. The urgency that once drove you to pack activities into every available moment gives way to a more expansive relationship with time. Minutes and hours begin to feel different, less pressured, and more spacious. This temporal shift is actually part of your brain's preparation for hibernation, when time will take on entirely different meanings and the normal human relationship with minutes and hours will become irrelevant. The social preparation for hibernation creates its own beautiful rituals and traditions. Communities develop autumn festivals and gatherings that serve both practical and emotional purposes. These events allow people to connect deeply with friends and family before the long separation of winter sleep, while also serving as opportunities to share resources and ensure that everyone has adequate preparation for hibernation. The conversations at these gatherings have a different quality than summer socializing, deeper, more meaningful, with an understanding that these connections must sustain relationships through months of separation. Your body's relationship with light becomes increasingly sophisticated during this autumn period. The photosensitive cells in your eyes develop enhanced sensitivity to the changing qualities of daylight, while your brain becomes more responsive to the subtle signals that different types of illumination provide. Artificial lighting begins to feel harsh and unsatisfying, while natural light, even the dimmer illumination of autumn days, provide the sense of nourishment and connection that electric lights cannot match. The hormonal cascades that govern hibernation preparation create changes in mood and perspective that are overwhelmingly positive. Rather than the seasonal depression that once affected some people during autumn months, the approach of hibernation brings a sense of anticipation and peaceful acceptance. Anxiety levels naturally decrease as stress hormones rebalance, while the production of compounds that promote calm, contentment increases. This biochemical shift creates a mental state that is ideally suited for the profound rest that winter will bring. Your digestive system begins remarkable adaptations during these preparatory weeks. The organs responsible for processing food gradually slow their activity while becoming more efficient at extracting nutrients from whatever you consume. Your stomach and intestines prepare for the months ahead when they will need to function at minimal levels while maintaining the basic processes necessary for life. This preparation is so gradual and natural that you experience it simply as a changing relationship with food rather than any kind of digestive distress. The changes in your respiratory system during autumn preparation are equally fascinating. Your lungs begin developing enhanced efficiency that will allow them to extract maximum oxygen from each breath during hibernation when breathing rates will slow dramatically. The muscles that control breathing adapt to function effectively at much slower rates, while the blood's ability to carry oxygen improves to compensate for reduced respiratory activity. Picture yourself lying in bed during one of these autumn nights, feeling the profound changes taking place throughout your body. Your breathing has become deeper and more rhythmic than ever before, while your heartbeat seems to echo with a slower, more measured cadence. Sleep comes more easily now, and when you wake, you feel not just rested but somehow more solid, more grounded, as if your body is becoming denser and more stable in preparation for the months of stillness ahead. The neurological changes that support hibernation preparation affect every aspect of consciousness and perception. Your brain develops enhanced efficiency in processing information while requiring less energy to maintain essential functions. Memory consolidation improves as your mind prepares for the unique dream states that will characterize hibernation sleep. Creativity often flourishes during this period as the changing brain chemistry creates new connections and perspectives that were impossible during the more energetic states of summer consciousness. As autumn progresses, you begin to notice changes in your relationship with physical activity. The vigorous exercises that once felt invigorating now seem less appealing than gentler, more contemplative forms of movement. Walking replaces running, stretching replaces intense workouts, and activities that promote calm-centeredness become more satisfying than those that create excitement or stimulation. This shift reflects your body's growing need to conserve energy while maintaining the flexibility and circulation necessary for healthy hibernation. Your sensory perception begins subtle modifications during this preparatory period. Colors appear more saturated and meaningful, while sounds take on richer harmonics that were previously unnoticed. Touch becomes more sensitive and pleasurable, as if your skin is preparing to derive maximum comfort from the soft bedding and warm environments that will surround you during hibernation. These sensory enhancements create a more vivid and satisfying experience of the world, even as your overall activity levels begin to decline. The transformation of your circadian rhythms represents one of the most elegant aspects of hibernation preparation. Rather than simply sleeping more, your body develops an entirely new relationship with the cycle of day and night. Sleep periods begin to lengthen gradually while maintaining restorative quality, and waking periods become more focused and purposeful. This rhythm shift prepares your consciousness for the extended sleep periods of hibernation, while ensuring that your autumn waking hours are productive and meaningful. As the first frosts appear and the days grow noticeably shorter, the changes within your body accelerate slightly while maintaining their gentle, natural progression. The fat reserves that have been building throughout autumn reach optimal levels, providing the energy stores that will sustain you through winter. Your body composition shifts in ways that optimize both insulation and nutrition storage, creating physical changes that enhance both comfort and safety during the long sleep ahead. The psychological preparation for hibernation brings its own rewards during these autumn weeks. Worries and anxieties that once seemed important begin to fade as your brain chemistry shifts toward the calm acceptance necessary for successful hibernation. Problems that appeared urgent during summer's energetic periods now seem manageable or even irrelevant as your perspective adjusts to accommodate the longer rhythms of hibernation cycles. This mental shift creates a sense of peace and contentment that enhances every aspect of autumn experience. Your body's relationship with temperature continues to evolve throughout this preparatory period. The internal thermostat that regulates body heat becomes more sophisticated and efficient, learning to maintain optimal warmth with less energy expenditure. Circulation patterns adapt to support this enhanced temperature regulation, ensuring that vital organs remain properly warmed even as overall metabolic activity prepares to slow dramatically. As the autumn preparation period draws towards close, all of these individual changes begin to integrate into a coordinated whole. Your body has become a marvel of efficiency and adaptation, perfectly prepared for the remarkable journey into hibernation that winter will bring. Every system has adjusted its function to support the coming months of profound rest, while maintaining the essential activities necessary to preserve life and health throughout the cold season. The final weeks of autumn bring a sense of completion and readiness that permeates every aspect of your being. Your body has achieved the optimal state for hibernation, well-nourished, perfectly insulated, metabolically efficient, and psychologically prepared for the unique experience that awaits. The transformation that began with subtle changes in appetite and sleep patterns has created a human being perfectly adapted for the profound rest that will carry you safely and peacefully through winter's depths into the renewal that spring will bring. Chapter 2. The Slowing Heart. As November deepens and the air carries the first whispers of true winter, the changes that began so gently in your body now begin to accelerate into something truly remarkable. Your heart, that faithful muscle that has beaten steadily throughout your entire life, begins to embrace a different rhythm entirely. This transformation is not sudden or alarming, but rather unfolds with the same natural grace that guides leaves to fall and birds to migrate southward. Picture yourself sitting quietly in a comfortable chair during one of these late autumn evenings, perhaps with a warm cup of tea growing cool in your hands as you become absorbed in the profound changes taking place within your chest. If you place your hand over your heart, you might notice that the steady rhythm you've known all your life has begun to shift. What once beat perhaps 70 or 80 times each minute now pulses with a more measured cadence. Each heartbeat slightly longer, more deliberate, as if your cardiovascular system is learning to savor each contraction rather than rushing through them. This slowing of your heart rate represents one of the most elegant adaptations your body makes in preparation for hibernation. Your cardiac muscle, strengthened by months of autumn preparation, has developed the remarkable ability to pump more efficiently with each beat. Where once it might have needed rapid contractions to move blood throughout your system, it now accomplishes the same task with fewer, more powerful pulses. Each heartbeat becomes like a deeper breath, moving more blood with less effort, creating a cardiovascular system that operates with the efficiency of a master craftsman rather than the urgency of a factory worker. The changes in your blood circulation during this period create sensations that are both subtle and deeply satisfying. Your hands and feet, rather than growing cold, as you might expect with a slower heart rate, actually maintain perfect warmth through improved circulation efficiency. Blood vessels throughout your body have undergone their own remarkable adaptations, becoming more elastic and responsive, able to deliver oxygen and nutrients even as the overall pace of circulation gradually decreases. Imagine lying in bed during one of these November nights, becoming aware of the gentle rhythm of your pulse as it echoes through your entire body. Your heartbeat has become something you can feel not just in your chest, but as a gentle wave that moves through your arms, your neck, even into your fingertips. This enhanced circulation creates a sense of wholeness and integration, as if every part of your body is now more intimately connected to the central rhythm of your cardiovascular system. Your blood itself has undergone fascinating changes during this period of cardiovascular adaptation. The red blood cells that carry oxygen throughout your system have become more efficient, able to hold and release their precious cargo with greater precision. Your blood has developed enhanced oxygen-carrying capacity, preparing for the months ahead when breathing will slow to barely perceptible levels. This improved efficiency means that even as your heart rate decreases, your tissues receive exactly the nourishment they need to remain healthy and vital. The sensation of blood moving through your veins takes on different qualities during this transformation period. Rather than the quick, almost urgent circulation of summer months, blood flow now feels more like a gentle river moving through your body. You might become aware of this circulation in ways you never noticed before. A pleasant warmth spreading down your arms after you move them, or a gentle tingling in your legs when you shift position that speaks of blood adjusting its flow patterns to match your body's changing needs. Your heart's electrical system, that remarkable network of specialized cells that coordinates each heartbeat, develops new characteristics during this period that support the dramatic changes ahead. The pacemaker cells that normally drive your heart's rhythm learn to generate signals with longer intervals between them, while maintaining perfect coordination between the different chambers of your heart. This electrical adaptation ensures that even as your heart rate slows dramatically, each beat remains perfectly timed and coordinated. Picture yourself during one of your daily walks through the quiet autumn landscape, noticing how your body responds differently to physical activity than it did just months before. Where once a brisk walk might have caused your heart rate to increase significantly, now your cardiovascular system accommodates the same activity with barely perceptible changes in rhythm. Your heart has become so efficient that moderate activity requires only minimal increases in pulse rate, a remarkable adaptation that prepares you for the months ahead when even basic life processes will need to function at dramatically reduced energy levels. The blood pressure changes that accompany cardiovascular adaptation create their own subtle but pleasant sensations. Rather than the slight variations in pressure that once accompanied changes in position or activity, your blood pressure now maintains remarkable stability. Standing up from a seated position no longer creates the momentary adjustment period you might have experienced before. Instead, your circulation adapts so smoothly to positional changes that you barely notice the transition. This enhanced stability reflects the profound efficiency your cardiovascular system has achieved. Your body's relationship with oxygen undergoes remarkable refinement during this period of cardiovascular slowing. Each breath now delivers oxygen to blood that has become exceptionally efficient at carrying and utilizing this essential gas. Your tissues learn to extract maximum benefit from the oxygen delivered by your increasingly efficient circulation, while producing less metabolic waste that needs to be carried away. This creates a beautifully balanced system where reduced circulation actually provides improved nourishment to every cell in your body. The changes in your blood chemistry during this period support the cardiovascular adaptations in fascinating ways. Hormone levels shift to optimize heart function at slower rates, while other chemical messengers help coordinate the complex dance between heart rate, blood pressure, and circulation efficiency. Your blood develops enhanced clotting capabilities to protect you during the vulnerable period of hibernation, while maintaining perfect fluidity to support efficient circulation at reduced flow rates. Imagine spending time in meditation or quiet contemplation during this period, becoming deeply aware of the profound rhythm that now governs your cardiovascular system. Your heartbeat has become something like a gentle drum, marking time not with the urgency of waking life, but with the patient persistence of natural cycles. Each beat seems to echo with the rhythm of seasons themselves, connecting your internal processes to the larger cycles of the natural world. The relationship between your heart and your breathing begins to change in beautiful ways during this cardiovascular transformation. Rather than the relatively independent relationship these systems maintain during your more active months, they now begin to coordinate more closely, with your heartbeat and breathing falling into harmonious patterns that maximize efficiency while minimizing energy expenditure. This coordination creates a sense of internal harmony that you can feel throughout your entire body. Your heart muscle itself becomes stronger and more resilient during this adaptation period, even as it slows its rhythm. The cardiac cells develop enhanced ability to function efficiently at reduced rates, while maintaining the power necessary to circulate blood throughout your system. This strengthening occurs gradually and naturally, your heart essentially training itself for the remarkable task of maintaining life during the deep rest of hibernation. The sensory experience of cardiovascular slowing creates feelings of deep calm and centeredness that permeate every aspect of your consciousness. Rather than feeling sluggish or tired, the reduced heart rate brings a sense of profound peace and stability. You feel grounded in ways you never experienced during the more energetic months of summer, as if your slower cardiovascular rhythm connects you more deeply to the Earth's own steady pulse. Picture yourself preparing for sleep during one of these late autumn nights, lying in bed and feeling the gentle, measured rhythm of your heart as it beats with perfect efficiency in your chest. Sleep comes more easily now, partly because your cardiovascular system no longer creates the slight sense of urgency that faster heart rates can generate. Instead, your slowing pulse seems to guide your consciousness naturally toward rest, each heartbeat like a gentle invitation to let go of waking awareness and drift into deeper states of relaxation. Your circulation develops remarkable adaptability during this period, learning to direct blood flow precisely where it's needed while conserving energy in areas where demand is reduced. Your digestive organs receive exactly the circulation necessary to process the rich foods your body craves, while your muscles get optimal blood flow to support their gradual adaptation to hibernation. This precise circulation control represents a level of cardiovascular sophistication that surpasses anything your body achieved during its more active periods. The changes in your peripheral circulation, the blood flow to your extremities, create particularly pleasant sensations during this transformation period. Your hands and feet develop enhanced warmth and sensitivity, even as overall circulation slows. This improved peripheral circulation ensures that you remain comfortable even as ambient temperatures drop, while preparing your extremities for the months ahead when efficient circulation to hands and feet will be essential for maintaining health during hibernation. Your cardiovascular system begins to develop enhanced responsiveness to the subtle cues that will guide hibernation. Changes in light levels, ambient temperature, and even barometric pressure now influence your heart rate and circulation patterns in ways that prepare your body to respond appropriately to winter conditions. This environmental responsiveness creates a cardiovascular system that operates in harmony with natural cycles rather than fighting against them. The lymphatic system, which works closely with your cardiovascular system to maintain health and immunity, undergoes its own remarkable adaptations during this period. Lymph flow becomes more efficient even as it slows, ensuring that your body's waste removal and immune functions remain optimal despite the overall reduction in circulation speed. This lymphatic adaptation supports the cardiovascular changes while maintaining the cleansing and protective functions essential for healthy hibernation. Picture yourself enjoying a warm bath during one of these autumn evenings, feeling how the heat affects your adapted cardiovascular system differently than it once did. Rather than causing your heart rate to increase significantly, the warmth now creates a pleasant sense of circulation enhancement that feels deeply nourishing and restorative. Your blood vessels respond to the heat with elegant efficiency, dilating just enough to maximize the therapeutic benefits while maintaining the stable circulation patterns that characterize your hibernation preparation. The relationship between your cardiovascular system and your nervous system develops new characteristics during this adaptation period. Your heart becomes more responsive to the calming signals from your parasympathetic nervous system, while becoming less reactive to stress and stimulation. This neurological coordination creates a cardiovascular system that naturally promotes rest and conservation while maintaining all the functions necessary for optimal health. Your heart develops enhanced sensitivity to the hormonal signals that coordinate hibernation preparation. Melatonin, growth hormone, and other chemical messengers now influence your cardiovascular function in ways that support the overall transition toward hibernation. These hormonal interactions create a beautifully coordinated system where your heart rate, blood pressure, and circulation patterns all respond harmoniously to your body's changing needs. The energy efficiency that your cardiovascular system achieves during this period represents one of the most remarkable aspects of hibernation preparation. Your heart learns to maintain perfect circulation while using a fraction of the energy it once required. This efficiency extends to every aspect of cardiovascular function, from the electrical signals that coordinate heartbeats to the muscular contractions that move blood throughout your system. Imagine taking a gentle walk through a frost-touched meadow during one of these late autumn days, feeling how your cardiovascular system responds to the cool air and beautiful landscape. Your heart maintains its steady, measured rhythm regardless of the external conditions, while your circulation adjusts smoothly to keep you perfectly comfortable. The sight of your breath in the cool air becomes a visual reminder of how efficiently your respiratory and cardiovascular systems now work together. The psychological effects of cardiovascular slowing contribute significantly to the overall sense of peace and preparation that characterizes this period. The slower heart rate naturally promotes feelings of calm and centeredness, while the improved circulation efficiency creates a sense of physical well-being that supports emotional balance. Anxiety and stress seem to dissolve naturally as your cardiovascular system settles into its new, more peaceful rhythm. Your heart's adaptation to hibernation preparation includes developing enhanced recovery abilities that will be essential during the long winter rest. Cardiac muscle becomes more resistant to fatigue while maintaining strength and efficiency. This enhanced resilience ensures that your heart will be able to maintain its essential functions throughout the months of hibernation while preserving the capacity to gradually return to more active rhythms when spring arrives. The coordination between your cardiovascular system and other body systems reaches new levels of integration during this period. Your heart rate now influences and is influenced by your digestive rhythm, your breathing patterns, your hormone cycles, and even your sleep stages in ways that create a beautifully orchestrated symphony of biological functions all working together to prepare for hibernation. Picture yourself settling into bed as November draws toward its close, feeling the profound peace that comes from a cardiovascular system that has achieved perfect preparation for the winter ahead. Your heart beats with the patient rhythm of someone who knows that rest is coming, each pulse carrying you gently toward the deep sleep that will sustain you through the cold months. The slowing of your heart has become not a limitation, but a gift, preparing you for the remarkable journey into hibernation that awaits just ahead. Chapter 3. the quiet mind. As December arrives with its deepening cold and shortened days, the transformation that began in your body extends into the most remarkable territory of all, the landscape of your mind itself. Your consciousness, that vibrant awareness that has navigated you through countless experiences, begins to undergo changes so profound yet so gentle that they feel less like alteration and more like coming home to a way of being you never knew existed. Picture yourself sitting by a window during one of these early December afternoons, watching the pale sunlight filter through bare branches as you become aware of subtle shifts in your mental processes. Thoughts that once moved through your mind with the quick intensity of summer lightning now flow more like a slow, deep river. Each idea seems to carry more weight, more substance, as if your mind has learned to extract greater meaning from fewer thoughts rather than processing the rapid stream of mental activity that once characterized your waking consciousness. The quality of your attention begins to change in ways that are both profound and deeply satisfying. Where once your awareness might have flitted from one concern to another, jumping between worries about the future and memories of the past, now your mind develops a natural tendency toward present moment awareness that feels effortless and complete. This isn't the forced concentration that meditation teachers often encourage, but rather a spontaneous settling of consciousness into a state of calm, focused presence that seems to arise naturally from the biological changes taking place throughout your system. Your memory begins to function differently during this period of mental transformation, developing characteristics that seem almost magical in their elegance and efficiency. Recent memories consolidate more effectively, while older memories take on enhanced clarity and emotional richness. Dreams from the night before linger longer in consciousness, their images and feelings remaining accessible throughout the day in ways that create a sense of continuity between sleeping and waking awareness that you've never experienced before. Imagine lying in bed during one of these December mornings, noticing how the transition from sleep to wakefulness has become less distinct, more gradual. Rather than the sharp awakening that once pulled you abruptly from dreams into daylight concerns, consciousness now emerges slowly, like a flower opening to receive the morning sun. This gentler awakening allows you to carry the peace and insight of sleep into your waking hours, creating a mental state that feels both fully alert and deeply restful. The chemical changes taking place in your brain during this period create shifts in neurotransmitter production that naturally enhance mood, while promoting the deep calm necessary for hibernation preparation. Serotonin levels stabilize at optimal ranges that support contentment and emotional balance, while dopamine production adjusts to provide satisfaction from simple pleasures rather than requiring the intense stimulation that once drove your motivation. These neurochemical changes create a mental state that finds profound joy in quiet activities and simple experiences. Your relationship with time undergoes perhaps the most fascinating transformation of all during this period of mental quieting. Minutes and hours begin to feel different, less pressured and more expansive. A simple activity like drinking a cup of tea or watching clouds move across the sky can absorb your attention completely, providing satisfaction and meaning that once would have required much more complex or stimulating experiences. This expanded sense of time reflects your brain's preparation for hibernation, when normal temporal awareness will become largely irrelevant. Picture yourself engaged in one of these simple activities during a December afternoon, perhaps reading a book or working on a quiet craft project. Your mind settles into the activity with complete absorption, finding layers of interest and satisfaction that surprise you with their depth. The anxious urgency that once pushed you to multitask or hurry through experiences has been replaced by a natural inclination to fully inhabit whatever you're doing, creating a quality of attention that transforms even mundane activities into sources of genuine contentment. The verbal processing centers of your brain begin subtle adaptations during this period that affect how you communicate and even how you think about language. Words seem to carry more weight and meaning now, while unnecessary chatter, both internal and external, naturally diminishes. conversations become more substantial and less frequent, with long, comfortable silences that feel full rather than empty. This linguistic quieting reflects your mind's growing comfort with nonverbal awareness and its preparation for the months ahead when language will play a minimal role in consciousness. Your emotional regulation systems develop remarkable sophistication during this mental transformation period. Feelings that once might have created dramatic ups and downs in your mood now flow through your awareness with the gentle persistence of a spring-fed stream. Joy becomes deeper but less excited, while sadness, when it occurs, feels more like a natural weather pattern that passes through consciousness without creating lasting disturbance. This emotional stability creates a mental environment perfectly suited for the profound rest that hibernation will bring. The creative centers of your brain undergo their own fascinating changes during this period of consciousness transformation. Rather than the quick, energetic creativity that might have characterized your summer thinking, your mind now generates ideas with the patient development of a master craftsperson. Creative insights emerge slowly and develop organically, often revealing depths and connections that more hurried thinking could never achieve. This enhanced creativity often produces work of unusual beauty and meaning during the preparatory months. Imagine spending time with a creative project during one of these quiet December days, perhaps drawing, writing, or working with your hands in some way. Your mind approaches the work with a kind of meditative attention that allows you to perceive subtleties and possibilities that would have escaped notice during more active mental periods. The process becomes as satisfying as any result, creating experiences of creative flow that feel deeply nourishing and restorative. Your brain's relationship with sensory information becomes more refined and selective during this period of mental quieting. Rather than processing the overwhelming stream of sensory data that modern environments typically provide, your consciousness begins to filter inputs more carefully, attending deeply to information that serves your current needs while gently letting less relevant stimuli fade into the background. This enhanced sensory discrimination creates a mental environment that feels more peaceful and less overwhelming. The default mode network in your brain, those neural pathways that typically activate during rest and introspection, begins to operate differently as your mind prepares for hibernation. Rather than the sometimes anxious mental wandering that can characterize ordinary rest periods, your brain develops more peaceful and productive patterns of background activity. These mental processes work quietly to integrate experiences, consolidate memories, and prepare consciousness for the unique states that hibernation will bring. Picture yourself sitting quietly during one of these December evenings, perhaps before a fireplace or simply in a comfortable chair, and noticing the quality of mental activity that emerges when you're not focused on any particular task. Rather than the worried rumination or random mental chatter that might once have filled such moments, your mind now generates thoughts and images that feel purposeful and peaceful. This background mental activity feels less like distraction and more like the gentle work of a consciousness preparing itself for profound transformation. Your attention span develops remarkable depth and stability during this period of mental preparation. Activities that once seemed to require effort to maintain focus now naturally hold your interest for extended periods. Reading becomes more absorbing, conversations feel more engaging, and even simple observations of nature can capture your attention with an intensity that feels both relaxed and complete. This enhanced attention reflects your brain's growing capacity to find satisfaction in depth rather than requiring variety for stimulation. The neural networks responsible for anxiety and stress response undergo profound positive changes during this mental transformation period. The hypervigilant scanning for problems and threats that characterizes much of modern consciousness naturally diminishes, replaced by a calm awareness that can respond to actual needs without creating unnecessary mental turbulence. This reduction in background anxiety creates mental space for the peaceful states necessary for successful hibernation. Your brain's relationship with sleep begins to blur in beautiful ways during this period of consciousness transformation. The sharp distinction between sleeping and waking awareness that once characterized your mental life starts to soften, with dream states occasionally bleeding into waking consciousness and waking insights flowing naturally into sleep experiences. This increased continuity between different states of consciousness prepares your mind for hibernation, when the boundaries between sleeping and waking will become largely irrelevant. Imagine preparing for sleep during one of these December nights, noticing how the transition from waking to sleeping consciousness has become less like falling off a cliff and more like settling into a warm bath. Your mind releases the day's concerns with increasing ease, while sleep arrives not as an interruption of consciousness, but as a natural deepening of the peaceful awareness that has characterized your waking hours. The executive functioning centers of your brain adapt to support decision-making processes that are less hurried, but often more wise during this period of mental quieting. Choices that once might have created anxiety or required lengthy deliberation now seem to resolve themselves naturally through a kind of intuitive knowing that emerges from your calmer mental state. This enhanced decision-making ability reflects your brain's growing trust in non-rational ways of knowing that will become essential during hibernation. Your brain's production of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, and other compounds that support neural health actually increases during this period of mental preparation, ensuring that the slower mental processes of hibernation preparation actually enhance rather than diminish cognitive function. This neurochemical support creates a brain that operates more efficiently while using less energy, perfectly adapted for the unique demands of hibernation consciousness. Picture yourself engaged in problem-solving during this period of mental transformation, perhaps working through a challenge in your personal life or considering an important decision. Your mind approaches the situation with a kind of calm wisdom that allows you to perceive solutions and possibilities that more anxious or hurried thinking might miss entirely. The quality of insight that emerges from this quieter mental state often surprises you with its clarity and appropriateness. The mirror neuron systems in your brain, which help you understand and empathize with others, develop enhanced sensitivity during this period of consciousness preparation. Social interactions become richer and more meaningful as your ability to perceive and respond to subtle emotional and energetic cues improves dramatically. This enhanced social sensitivity creates deeper connections with others who are also preparing for hibernation, strengthening the community bonds that will help sustain everyone through the winter separation. Your brain's relationship with routine and habit undergoes interesting changes during this mental transformation period. Activities that support hibernation preparation become deeply satisfying and easy to maintain, while habits that drain energy or create mental agitation naturally fall away without requiring conscious effort. This automatic optimization of behavior patterns reflects your brain's growing wisdom about what supports your current needs and what no longer serve your transformation. The prefrontal cortex regions responsible for planning and future-oriented thinking adapt their function to support the unique temporal requirements of hibernation preparation, rather than the anxious future planning that can characterize modern consciousness. Your mind develops a kind of gentle preparation that accounts for hibernation needs without creating stress about the dramatic changes ahead. This planning feels more like natural preparation than worried anticipation. Imagine yourself making practical preparations for hibernation during this period, arranging your living space, stocking necessary supplies, or coordinating with others in your community. Your mind approaches these tasks with calm efficiency, making decisions that feel obvious and appropriate rather than challenging or overwhelming. The mental clarity that characterizes this period makes even complex preparations feel manageable and natural. Your brain's reward systems adapt to find deep satisfaction in the quiet activities and simple pleasures that characterize hibernation preparation. The need for intense stimulation or dramatic experiences diminishes as your consciousness discovers fulfillment in gentler forms of engagement. Reading, gentle movement, quiet conversation, and simple creative activities become sources of profound satisfaction that once would have seemed insufficient to maintain interest. The neuroplasticity that allows your brain to adapt and change reaches remarkable levels during this period of consciousness transformation. New neural pathways form to support hibernation awareness, while existing networks optimize their efficiency for the unique demands of winter consciousness. This enhanced brain plasticity ensures that the changes taking place in your mind are permanent improvements rather than temporary adaptations. Picture yourself as December progresses toward its end, sitting quietly and marveling at the profound peace that has settled over your mental landscape. Thoughts move through your awareness like gentle clouds across a vast sky, each one clear and purposeful, but none creating disturbance or urgency. Your mind has become a place of refuge and wisdom, perfectly prepared for the remarkable journey into hibernation consciousness that awaits in the depths of winter just ahead. Chapter 4. The Winter Sleep. The Winter Sleep. As January settles over the landscape with its deep cold and crystalline silence, your body begins the final transition into the profound state that will carry you through winter's heart. The preparations that began months ago now culminate in a transformation so complete, so elegant in its biological sophistication, that it represents perhaps the most remarkable adaptation the human body could achieve. This is not ordinary sleep deepened, but rather an entirely different state of being where life continues at a pace so slow, so efficient, that it approaches the rhythms of the earth itself. Picture yourself on one of the last conscious evenings before deep hibernation begins, lying in the specially prepared space that will be your sanctuary for the months ahead. Your breathing is already slowed to barely perceptible levels, each inhalation and exhalation separated by long, peaceful pauses that would have seemed alarming just months ago, but now feel as natural as the tide's gentle rhythm. Your heart beats perhaps once every 10 or 15 seconds, each contraction so efficient, so perfectly coordinated with your body's minimal needs, that this slow pulse easily maintains all the circulation necessary for life. The room around you has been carefully arranged to support the remarkable journey ahead. Soft bedding surrounds you like a cocoon, maintaining the perfect temperature and humidity that your body will need during the long sleep. The lighting has been gradually dimmed over recent days, until now only the faintest illumination remains, preparing your photosensitive systems for the months of darkness that characterize deep hibernation. Everything in your environment speaks of rest, safety, and the profound peace that accompanies surrender to natural cycles. Your body temperature has dropped gradually over the past weeks, settling now at levels that would have been dangerous in your summer physiology, but which represent perfect adaptation for hibernation. This cooling is not the chill of illness, but rather the elegant efficiency of a biological system that has learned to maintain life at dramatically reduced energy expenditure. Your skin feels warm and comfortable despite the lower core temperature, a testament to the remarkable adaptations that allow hibernating mammals to remain healthy and vital even as their body heat decreases. Imagine the sensation of lying still as your metabolism continues its dramatic slowdown, reaching levels that represent only a small fraction of your summer energy expenditure. Each cell in your body now operates with extraordinary efficiency, extracting maximum benefit from stored nutrients while producing minimal waste. This metabolic mastery allows your body to maintain all essential functions for months, using only the energy reserves accumulated during autumn's preparation period. Your digestive system has essentially entered a state of suspended animation, having processed and absorbed the last meal you consumed weeks ago. Your stomach and intestines now rest in a state of perfect stillness, their muscular walls relaxed and peaceful, their internal environments maintained at optimal conditions without the constant activity that once characterized these organs. This digestive rest allows your body to redirect all available energy toward maintaining the essential functions that will keep you alive and healthy throughout hibernation. The changes in your nervous system during this transition into deep hibernation represent some of the most remarkable adaptations of all. Your brain activity has slowed to levels that maintain essential autonomic functions, while allowing consciousness to exist in a state unlike anything experienced in ordinary life. Neural firing patterns shift into slow, rhythmic waves that support the unique dream states and minimal awareness that characterize hibernation consciousness. Picture your brain as it settles into hibernation patterns. Neural networks that once buzzed with the rapid activity of waking thought now pulsing with the slow, deep rhythms that will carry you through winter. Memory consolidation continues during hibernation sleep, but at a pace so gradual that months of rest serve to integrate and organize experiences with a thoroughness impossible during more active states. Your mind becomes like a vast library where knowledge settles into perfect organization during the long quiet of winter sleep. Your cardiovascular system achieves its most remarkable efficiency during deep hibernation, with your heart beating slowly but powerfully enough to maintain circulation throughout your body. Blood flow patterns adapt to support the minimal but essential needs of hibernating physiology, ensuring that your brain, heart, and other vital organs receive exactly the nourishment they require. This circulation occurs so gently, so smoothly, that it creates no disturbance to the profound rest that characterizes hibernation sleep. The experience of breathing during hibernation represents a unique state where the autonomic processes that normally occur without conscious awareness take on an almost sacred quality. Each breath becomes a slow, deep exchange of gases that occurs with perfect efficiency and timing. The pauses between breaths stretch into long moments of complete stillness where your body simply exists in peaceful suspension, neither needing nor wanting anything beyond the gentle continuation of life's most basic processes. Your immune system continues its protective work during hibernation, but at the slow, steady pace that matches your reduced metabolism. White blood cells patrol your system with patient thoroughness, while your body's natural healing processes work slowly but effectively to maintain health and repair any minor damage. This hibernation immunity operates with remarkable efficiency, providing complete protection while using minimal energy resources. Imagine the sensation of your body during deep hibernation as muscles release into complete relaxation, while maintaining just enough tone to support essential posture and circulation. Every fiber of muscle tissue settles into rest so profound that months pass without the slightest tension or discomfort. This muscular peace contributes to the overall sense of weightless suspension that characterizes the hibernation experience. Your endocrine system maintains perfect hormonal balance during hibernation through the slow, steady release of exactly the right chemical messengers to support your reduced physiological needs. Growth hormone, melatonin, and other regulatory compounds continue their work at hibernation pace, ensuring that your body not only survives the winter sleep, but actually benefits from the extended rest and restoration that this state provides. The relationship between your body and the environment during hibernation becomes one of perfect harmony and minimal interaction. Your reduced heat production exactly balances heat loss, while your minimal oxygen consumption matches the slow, steady gas exchange that your respiratory system maintains. This balanced efficiency means that your hibernation space remains stable and comfortable throughout the long winter months. Picture the quality of dreams that emerge during hibernation sleep, visions that unfold with the patient development of seasons themselves. These hibernation dreams have characteristics unlike ordinary sleep experiences, often lasting for what would feel like weeks or months in normal time, while actually occurring during much shorter periods. The content of these dreams frequently involves themes of rest, renewal, and connection to natural cycles, creating a rich inner life that nourishes consciousness throughout the winter journey. Your sensory systems during hibernation exist in a state of quiet awareness that can respond to significant changes in environment while filtering out minor disturbances. This selective sensitivity ensures that you remain safe during hibernation while not being awakened by normal environmental fluctuations. Touch, sound, and temperature perception all continue to function, but at reduced levels that protect the depth of your rest while maintaining essential monitoring capabilities. The cellular processes that continue during hibernation represent biological efficiency at its most elegant. DNA repair mechanisms work slowly but thoroughly to maintain genetic integrity, while cellular waste removal systems operate at reduced but adequate levels to keep your tissues healthy. Protein synthesis continues at minimal levels to maintain essential cellular structures, while energy production from stored fats occurs with remarkable efficiency and minimal waste generation. Imagine your fat reserves during hibernation serving as a perfect fuel source that burns slowly and cleanly to maintain life throughout the winter months. These energy stores, accumulated during autumn preparation, release their stored calories in exactly the amounts needed to support hibernation metabolism. The biochemical processes that convert stored fat to usable energy operate so efficiently that no toxic byproducts accumulate, ensuring that you remain healthy throughout the extended fast of hibernation. Your skeletal system benefits remarkably from the extended rest of hibernation, with bone density actually improving during the winter sleep rather than deteriorating as might occur during extended bed rest in non-hibernating humans. The unique hormonal environment of hibernation promotes bone health, while the reduced activity prevents the stress-related damage that can accumulate during more active periods. The lymphatic system continues its essential cleansing work during hibernation, but at the slow, thorough pace that matches your reduced circulation and metabolism. Lymph fluid moves through your system like a gentle river, carrying away waste products and supporting immune function at exactly the level needed to maintain health during the long rest. This lymphatic activity contributes to the remarkable fact that people often emerge from hibernation feeling more refreshed and healthy than when they entered it. Picture your skin during hibernation as it maintains perfect health and integrity despite months of minimal activity. The reduced metabolic rate actually benefits skin health by reducing the production of aging-related compounds while allowing repair processes to work thoroughly and completely. Many people find that their skin appears younger and healthier after hibernation, a testament to the restorative power of this extended rest. Your body's relationship with water during hibernation demonstrates remarkable efficiency in conservation and utilization. Kidney function slows to minimal levels while maintaining perfect electrolyte balance, and water loss through breathing and skin evaporation decreases dramatically. This water conservation means that the fluid reserves accumulated before hibernation easily last throughout the winter months without creating any discomfort or health problems. The experience of time during hibernation consciousness exists in a realm completely different from ordinary temporal awareness. Months may pass with only occasional moments of minimal awareness, while the dream experiences that do occur often feel timeless and eternal. This altered relationship with time creates a hibernation experience where the winter months feel neither long nor short, but rather exist outside normal temporal categories entirely. Imagine the profound peace that settles over your entire being during deep hibernation, a tranquility so complete that it encompasses every cell, every system, every aspect of your existence. This is not the peace of ordinary sleep, but rather the deeper rest of a consciousness that has surrendered completely to natural cycles and biological wisdom. Every part of your being participates in this peace, creating a state of restoration so profound that it rejuvenates you at the most fundamental levels. Your nervous system during hibernation maintains just enough activity to support essential autonomic functions, while allowing consciousness to exist in states of profound rest and restoration. Brain waves slow to patterns that barely register on monitoring equipment. Yet these minimal neural activities support rich inner experiences and continue the essential work of memory integration and psychological processing that occurs during hibernation sleep. The hibernation experience includes occasional periods of slightly elevated awareness when your body performs maintenance activities like shifting position or adjusting breathing patterns. These semi-conscious moments feel like surfacing briefly from deep water before sinking back in a profound rest, creating just enough awareness to ensure comfort and safety without disturbing the overall depth of hibernation sleep. Picture the remarkable harmony that exists between all your body systems during hibernation, each one operating at exactly the right level to support the others while maintaining the minimal energy expenditure that makes hibernation possible. Your heart, lungs, brain, digestive system, and every other organ work together with perfect coordination at this slower pace, creating a biological symphony of efficiency and rest. As winter deepens and your hibernation continues through January and February, your body settles into the deepest phases of this remarkable state. Time becomes meaningless as consciousness exists in realms of profound rest, punctuated occasionally by dreams that feel more real than waking life. Your body maintains itself perfectly during these deep winter months, drawing on stored resources while regenerating and restoring at levels impossible during more active states. The hibernation sleep carries you safely through winter's heart with the patient efficiency of biological systems that have achieved perfect adaptation to seasonal cycles. Every breath, every heartbeat, every cellular process occurs with the minimal energy expenditure necessary to maintain life while maximizing the restorative benefits of extended rest. This is sleep elevated to the level of biological artistry, where rest becomes a profound communion with the deepest rhythms of life itself. Chapter 5: Communities in Slumber. As the winter months deepen and individual humans across the world settle into their profound hibernation sleep, something remarkable happens to the fabric of human society itself. Communities that once bustled with constant activity now exist in a state of peaceful suspension. Yet the bonds that connect people remain strong and vital, maintained through preparations made during autumn months and sustained by the quiet vigilance of those few individuals whose biology allows them to remain partially active during winter's depths. Picture a small town during the heart of winter hibernation season, its streets empty of the usual traffic but not abandoned or desolate. Instead, the community sleeps like a living organism in temporary rest, its essential functions maintained by carefully planned systems and the dedicated service of winter caretakers who move through the quiet neighborhoods with the gentle efficiency of gardeners tending a vast, peaceful garden of sleeping humanity. The transformation of human settlements during hibernation represents one of the most beautiful adaptations that society has made to accommodate this profound biological change. Rather than viewing winter sleep as a disruption to normal life, communities have learned to embrace hibernation as an opportunity for renewal, reflection, and the kind of deep restoration that was impossible when human activity continued its summer intensity throughout the year. The architecture of hibernation communities reflects years of thoughtful adaptation to support the unique needs of sleeping populations. Homes have been redesigned with specialized hibernation chambers that maintain perfect temperature, humidity, and air quality throughout the winter months. These rooms are marvels of engineering efficiency, requiring minimal energy input while providing optimal conditions for months of safe, comfortable rest. Insulation systems work with remarkable effectiveness, while ventilation networks ensure fresh air circulation without disturbing the profound quiet that hibernation requires. Imagine walking through one of these transformed neighborhoods during a winter day, observing houses that seem to breathe slowly and peacefully, their windows darkened but somehow welcoming, their chimneys producing only the minimal smoke necessary to maintain heating systems. The few lights that remain active burn with soft, warm illumination that speaks of life continuing at a gentle pace rather than the harsh brightness that might disturb hibernation rest. The infrastructure systems that support hibernation communities represent remarkable feats of engineering and social organization. Power grids have been redesigned to operate efficiently during periods when energy consumption drops to a fraction of normal levels, while water and sewer systems maintain essential services with automated efficiency that requires minimal human intervention. These systems were designed during the early years of adaptation to hibernation, when communities realized that supporting mass winter sleep would require entirely new approaches to municipal services. The economic systems of hibernation communities have evolved to accommodate the unique rhythm of seasonal productivity and rest. Rather than the year-round economic activity that once characterized human society, these communities now operate on cycles that concentrate productive work in the spring, summer, and autumn months while allowing winter to serve as a period of economic rest and renewal. This seasonal economic model has often proven more sustainable and less stressful than year-round productivity cycles. Picture yourself visiting one of these communities during the active months, observing the intense but joyful burst of activity as residents prepare for both their own hibernation and the care of their community during the winter sleep period. Markets bustle with activity as people stock supplies, while workshops and factories operate with enhanced efficiency to produce everything needed for the months ahead. This concentrated productivity feels festive rather than frantic, infused with the understanding that hard work now will enable profound rest later. The social structures that govern hibernation communities have developed sophisticated systems for ensuring care and safety during the vulnerable winter months. Volunteer caretaker organizations rotate responsibility for monitoring hibernating residents, checking heating systems, maintaining essential services, and responding to any emergencies that might arise. These caretakers, who either hibernate for shorter periods or remain active throughout winter, serve their communities with dedication that reflects the deep bonds hibernation cycles have created between neighbors. The selection and training of winter caretakers represents one of the most important functions these communities perform. Caretakers undergo extensive preparation to understand hibernation physiology, emergency response procedures, and the maintenance requirements of hibernation infrastructure. They learn to move through sleeping communities with the quiet efficiency that protects hibernation rest, while ensuring that every resident remains safe and comfortable throughout the winter months. Imagine spending time with a team of winter caretakers as they make their daily rounds through a hibernating neighborhood. Their movements are deliberate and quiet, their conversations conducted in whispers as they check monitoring systems and ensure that each home maintains optimal conditions. These dedicated individuals often describe their winter service as deeply meaningful work that connects them intimately with their community's well-being and creates bonds of trust and responsibility that strengthen social fabric year-round. The communication systems that hibernation communities have developed allow for essential information sharing without disturbing sleeping residents. Emergency alert networks can activate when necessary, while routine communications rely on written messages and electronic systems that operate silently in the background. Community leaders who remain active during winter make decisions through consultation processes that respect both immediate needs and the preferences expressed by hibernating residents before they entered winter sleep. The medical care systems for hibernation communities represent remarkable adaptations of healthcare practice to support the unique needs of sleeping populations. Hibernation medicine has developed as a specialized field requiring deep understanding of the physiological changes that occur during winter sleep. Medical professionals learn to monitor hibernating patients without disrupting their rest, while emergency protocols ensure rapid response to any health concerns that might arise during the vulnerable hibernation period. Picture yourself observing the work of hibernation medical specialists as they make quiet rounds through sleeping communities, using sophisticated monitoring equipment to check vital signs and ensure that each hibernating individual remains healthy and safe. These medical professionals often work in teams with caretakers and community support staff, creating comprehensive care networks that provide security and peace of mind for both hibernating residents and their families. The food systems of hibernation communities have adapted to accommodate the dramatic changes in consumption patterns that hibernation creates. Rather than maintaining year-round food production and distribution networks, These communities focus intensive food preparation and storage during autumn months. Community kitchens and preservation facilities work at peak capacity during preparation season, creating stores of food that will sustain active community members and provide emergency nutrition if early awakening occurs. The agricultural practices that support hibernation communities often achieve remarkable efficiency and sustainability during their concentrated growing seasons. Farmers and gardeners work with intense focus during spring, summer, and autumn to produce abundant harvests that must meet both immediate consumption needs and hibernation preparation requirements. These agricultural cycles have led to improved soil management, enhanced crop rotation practices, and farming techniques that maximize productivity during active months. Imagine visiting one of these communities during harvest season, observing the celebration and intensity that characterizes food preparation for winter. Community members work together to process, preserve, and store the abundance of autumn harvests, creating food reserves that reflect both practical necessity and the deep satisfaction that comes from preparing thoroughly for the winter journey ahead. These preparation activities often become community festivals that strengthen social bonds while accomplishing essential work. The educational systems of hibernation communities have adapted to concentrate learning and skill development into the active months while using hibernation periods for deep reflection and memory consolidation. Schools operate with enhanced intensity during spring, summer, and autumn, providing rich educational experiences that students then process and integrate during winter rest. Teachers report that students often emerge from hibernation with deeper understanding and creative insights related to their pre-hibernation learning. The cultural institutions that serve hibernation communities have developed programming that reflects the seasonal rhythms of community life. Libraries, museums, and cultural centers concentrate their activities into the active months while maintaining minimal operations during hibernation periods. These institutions often serve as community gathering places during preparation seasons, hosting events and activities that strengthen social connections before the winter separation begins. Picture yourself attending one of these pre-hibernation cultural events, perhaps a concert or festival that serves both entertainment and community bonding functions. These gatherings have special poignancy as they represent the last opportunities for face-to-face community interaction before the long winter sleep begins. Participants often describe these events as deeply meaningful experiences that provide emotional sustenance for the months of separation ahead. The governance systems of hibernation communities have evolved to accommodate decision-making processes that must account for periods when much of the population is unavailable for participation. Community councils typically make major decisions during active months through enhanced democratic processes that give hibernating residents extensive input into policies that will affect them during winter sleep. Emergency governance protocols ensure that essential decisions can be made by active community members when necessary. The religious and spiritual institutions of hibernation communities have found profound meaning in the cycles of rest and renewal that hibernation provides. Many faith traditions have developed special observances and practices that honor hibernation as a sacred time of rest and spiritual renewal. Prayer and meditation practices often focus on the hibernating community, creating spiritual connections that transcend the physical separation of winter sleep. Imagine participating in one of these spiritual observances designed to honor and support hibernating community members. These services often take place in the quiet sanctuaries where sleeping residents rest, conducted with reverent whispers and gentle ceremonies that acknowledge the sacred nature of community members' winter journey. Participants frequently describe these experiences as deeply moving encounters with the spiritual dimensions of hibernation cycles. The technological systems that support hibernation communities represent remarkable innovations in automation and remote monitoring. Smart home systems maintain optimal environmental conditions throughout hibernation periods, while community-wide networks monitor essential services and alert caretakers to any issues that require attention. These technological solutions enable small teams of active community members to care for much larger populations of hibernating residents. The energy systems of hibernation communities have adapted to the dramatic seasonal variations in consumption that hibernation creates. Renewable energy systems often provide more than adequate power during winter months when consumption drops dramatically, while energy storage systems accumulate surplus power for use during the higher consumption periods of active months. These energy cycles have made many hibernation communities essentially energy independent and environmentally sustainable. Picture yourself observing the operation of one of these community energy systems during hibernation season, watching wind turbines and solar panels generating far more power than the sleeping community requires. The surplus energy often supports neighboring communities or gets stored for use during more active periods, creating energy abundance that was impossible under year-round consumption patterns. The waste management systems of hibernation communities reflect the dramatic reduction in waste production that occurs when most residents are sleeping. Composting and recycling systems operate at minimal levels during winter months, while waste treatment facilities require much less intensive operation. This seasonal reduction in waste production has led many hibernation communities to achieve remarkable levels of environmental sustainability. The emergency response systems for hibernation communities require specialized training and equipment to handle situations that might arise when most residents are sleeping. Fire departments, medical emergency services, and other emergency responders have developed protocols specifically designed to protect hibernating populations while providing rapid response when needed. These emergency systems often coordinate between multiple communities to ensure adequate coverage during winter months. Imagine the careful coordination required for emergency response in hibernation communities, where responders must be prepared to handle situations ranging from power outages to medical emergencies without disturbing the rest of sleeping residents unless absolutely necessary. These emergency teams often describe their winter service as requiring unique skills and dedication that strengthen their commitment to community service. The transportation systems that serve hibernation communities operate on dramatically reduced schedules during winter months, providing essential connectivity between communities while respecting the quiet that hibernation requires. Public transportation systems often run automated services that connect caretakers and active residents between communities, while emergency transportation remains available for urgent situations. The maintenance and repair services for hibernation communities concentrate their work into active months while providing emergency services during hibernation periods. Infrastructure maintenance teams work intensively during preparation months to ensure that all systems will operate reliably throughout winter, while emergency repair teams remain available to address any critical issues that might arise during hibernation season. Picture yourself working with one of these community maintenance teams during the intensive preparation period, observing the careful attention to detail that characterizes their work. Every system that supports hibernating residents receives thorough inspection and maintenance, while backup systems are tested and prepared to ensure that community members can sleep safely knowing that their essential needs will be met throughout winter. As winter progresses through its deepest months, hibernation communities exist in a state of peaceful suspension that demonstrates humanity's remarkable capacity to adapt social structures to accommodate biological rhythms. These sleeping towns and cities represent not abandonment of community life, but rather its transformation into something that honors both human social needs and the profound biological wisdom of seasonal rest. The bonds that connect hibernating community members remain strong throughout winter separation, sustained by the trust and preparation that characterize autumn months and renewed by the joy of reunion that marks spring awakening. These communities demonstrate that human social life can adapt to accommodate even the most profound biological changes while maintaining the connections and care that make community life meaningful and sustaining. The hibernation communities represent perhaps humanity's most beautiful adaptation to seasonal cycles, creating social structures that honor both the individual need for profound rest and the collective requirements of mutual support and care. In learning to sleep together as communities, humans have discovered new depths of trust, cooperation, and social wisdom that strengthen the bonds between people while respecting the natural rhythms that govern life itself. Chapter 6: Nature's Embrace. During the deep winter months, when human communities rest in peaceful hibernation, the natural world undergoes its own remarkable transformation, creating an environment that seems specifically designed to cradle and protect sleeping humanity. The relationship between hibernating humans and the natural systems that surround them becomes one of profound harmony and mutual support, as if the earth itself recognizes and honors the vulnerable state of winter sleep, responding with protective embrace that ensures safety and comfort throughout the cold season. Picture yourself as one of the few winter-active observers walking through a forest during the hibernation months, witnessing how the natural world has adapted to accommodate sleeping human communities. The trees stand in cathedral silence, their bare branches creating intricate patterns against the winter sky, while their root systems work quietly below ground to maintain soil stability and prevent erosion around hibernation sites. Even in their dormant state, these trees continue to provide essential services that support the hibernating human population. The wildlife communities that remain active during winter have developed remarkable patterns of behavior that seem to understand and respect the presence of hibernating humans. Birds alter their flight patterns to avoid disturbing hibernation areas, while mammals create trails and territories that provide natural buffer zones around sleeping communities. This wildlife behavior suggests an intuitive recognition of hibernation as a vulnerable state deserving of protection and respect from other species. The winter forests that surround hibernation communities take on qualities of natural sanctuaries during the cold months. Sound travels differently through the bare branches and snow-covered ground, creating acoustic environments that naturally muffle potentially disturbing noises while allowing essential sounds like emergency signals to carry effectively. The very architecture of winter landscapes seems designed to create the perfect sound environment for hibernation sleep. Imagine walking through one of these winter forests on a crystal-clear day, observing how the interplay of light and shadow creates visual environments that support rather than disturb hibernation rest. The low angle of winter sunlight filters through bare branches to create gentle, diffused illumination that provides essential light for winter caretakers while never becoming harsh enough to penetrate hibernation chambers or disturb sleeping residents. The snow that blankets hibernation communities during winter months serves as far more than simple precipitation. This natural insulation creates remarkably effective temperature regulation around hibernation sites, maintaining stable conditions that support comfortable sleep while reducing the energy requirements for artificial heating systems. Snow cover often provides better insulation than human-engineered alternatives, creating natural climate control that perfectly supports hibernation needs. The way snow falls and accumulates around hibernation communities demonstrates nature's remarkable ability to provide exactly what sleeping humans need. Snow drifts form naturally to provide windbreaks and additional insulation where most needed, while areas requiring access for caretakers often remain more easily navigable. This natural snow distribution suggests environmental responsiveness that goes beyond simple meteorological patterns. Picture yourself observing how winter precipitation patterns seem to coordinate with hibernation cycles, providing adequate moisture for spring awakening while maintaining the dry, stable conditions necessary for comfortable winter sleep. Ice formation creates natural storage systems for spring water needs, while winter storms typically arrive with patterns that allow adequate preparation time rather than creating dangerous conditions for hibernation communities. The soil systems beneath hibernation communities undergo their own remarkable adaptations during winter months. Root networks from surrounding vegetation create natural drainage systems that prevent water accumulation around hibernation sites, while maintaining soil stability that supports building foundations and prevents settling. These underground biological systems provide engineering services that human technology rarely matches for efficiency and reliability. The mycorrhizal networks that connect tree root systems throughout forest areas continue their essential work during winter months, creating underground communication and resource-sharing systems that often extend beneath hibernation communities. These fungal networks help maintain soil health and stability while creating biological systems that process organic waste and maintain ecosystem balance, even when most biological activity has slowed dramatically. Imagine the vast underground network of fungal connections that links forest systems around hibernation communities, creating biological infrastructure that supports ecosystem health while requiring no maintenance or energy input from human sources. These natural systems often provide better waste processing and soil management than artificial alternatives, while operating with perfect efficiency throughout winter months. The air quality around hibernation communities during winter months often reaches remarkable purity levels as reduced human activity combines with natural atmospheric cleansing processes. Trees continue their air purification work even in dormant states, while reduced industrial activity and transportation creates atmospheric conditions that support optimal respiratory health for hibernating populations. The air itself becomes medicine for sleeping communities. Wind patterns around hibernation communities often develop characteristics that provide natural climate control while protecting sleeping populations from harsh weather conditions. Natural windbreaks form from vegetation and terrain features, while air circulation patterns develop that provide fresh air exchange without creating uncomfortable drafts or temperature fluctuations that might disturb hibernation sleep. Picture yourself feeling the gentle movement of winter air around a hibernation community, noticing how wind flows seem designed to provide exactly the right amount of air circulation to maintain healthy atmospheric conditions while never becoming strong enough to create disturbance or discomfort. These natural ventilation patterns often surpass artificial climate control systems for both efficiency and comfort. The wildlife that remains active during winter months often develops protective behaviors toward hibernation sites that suggest interspecies recognition of vulnerability and the need for quiet. Predator species typically establish territories that create natural buffer zones around human hibernation areas, while smaller animals often modify their activity patterns to reduce noise and disturbance near sleeping communities. Birds that remain in hibernation areas during winter frequently develop roosting and feeding patterns that complement rather than disturb human sleep cycles. Dawn and dusk bird activity often shifts to occur at times and in locations that minimize potential disturbance to hibernating humans, while bird songs during winter months take on gentler qualities that enhance rather than disrupt the peaceful atmosphere of hibernation communities. Imagine waking early as a winter caretaker and listening to the bird songs that greet winter dawns, noticing how these vocalizations seem perfectly calibrated to provide pleasant natural sounds without the intensity or urgency that might disturb hibernation sleep. Many caretakers report that winter bird songs actually help them maintain the calm, quiet mental state necessary for their protective work. The plant communities that surround hibernation areas often develop enhanced survival strategies during winter months that create more stable and protective environments for sleeping humans. Evergreen plants maintain their photosynthetic activity at levels that continue air purification and oxygen production, while deciduous plants channel their energy into root strengthening that improves soil stability and erosion control around hibernation sites. The natural water systems near hibernation communities undergo winter adaptations that often improve their service to human populations. Streams and springs frequently develop more consistent flow patterns during winter months, while natural filtration through snow and soil systems creates water quality that surpasses summer conditions. These water improvements provide essential resources for winter caretakers while storing clean water for spring awakening needs. Picture yourself as a winter caretaker collecting water from a natural spring during hibernation season, observing how the water runs clear and pure with a taste and quality that seems enhanced by its journey through winter-purified soil and snow systems. Many caretakers report that winter water sources provide not just hydration, but a sense of connection to the natural systems that support hibernating communities. The natural lighting conditions that develop around hibernation communities during winter months create environments that support both hibernation rest and the work of winter caretakers. Cloud cover often develops patterns that provide consistent, gentle illumination during daytime hours, while ensuring complete darkness during night periods that support deep hibernation sleep cycles. The seasonal changes in electromagnetic fields and natural radiation levels during winter months often create environmental conditions that actually support hibernation physiology. Reduced solar radiation during winter months eliminates many of the environmental stimuli that promote waking activity, while natural electromagnetic patterns shift to frequencies that support rather than disturb deep sleep states. Imagine spending time in quiet observation during winter months, becoming aware of the subtle electromagnetic environment that surrounds hibernation communities. Many winter-active individuals report sensing changes in natural energy fields that seem to promote calm, meditative states of consciousness that complement the deep rest of hibernating populations. The natural cycles of day and night during winter months develop rhythms that perfectly support hibernation communities. Longer night periods provide extended darkness that promotes deep sleep, while shorter daylight hours offer just enough illumination for essential caretaking activities without creating stimulus overload that might disturb sleeping residents. The temperature regulation that natural systems provide around hibernation communities often exceeds the efficiency of artificial climate control systems. Natural thermal mass from soil, rocks, and vegetation creates stable temperature zones, while air circulation patterns and insulation from snow and vegetation maintain comfortable conditions with minimal energy input requirements. Picture yourself monitoring temperature conditions around a hibernation community during winter months, observing how natural systems maintain remarkably stable thermal conditions despite external weather variations. Ground temperatures remain consistent due to natural insulation, while air temperatures fluctuate within ranges that rarely require adjustment of artificial heating systems. The natural sound environments that develop around hibernation communities during winter create acoustic conditions that support deep rest while allowing essential sounds to carry effectively. Snow cover and bare vegetation create natural sound dampening that reduces harsh noises, while the acoustic properties of winter air allow important sounds like emergency signals to travel clearly when necessary. The way natural systems process and recycle organic waste around hibernation communities demonstrates remarkable efficiency and environmental harmony. Decomposition processes slow to rates that prevent odor or sanitation problems, while continuing the essential work of nutrient cycling that will support spring growth and renewal when hibernating populations awaken. Imagine observing the quiet efficiency of natural waste processing systems during winter months, watching how fallen leaves, organic debris, and other biological materials slowly decompose in ways that enrich soil while never creating sanitation concerns for hibernation communities. These natural systems often provide better waste management than artificial alternatives while requiring no maintenance or energy input. The protection that natural systems provide against extreme weather events becomes particularly important during hibernation months, when sleeping populations are most vulnerable. Natural windbreaks, drainage systems, and thermal regulation often prevent weather conditions from reaching dangerous levels, while early warning systems in natural environments frequently provide advance notice of approaching storms or temperature changes. The relationship between hibernating humans and the natural world demonstrates remarkable cooperation between human communities and ecological systems. Rather than requiring conquest or domination of natural environments, hibernation communities achieve harmony with natural cycles that benefits both human populations and ecological health. This cooperation creates sustainable relationships that support both human needs and environmental vitality. Picture yourself reflecting on the profound interdependence between hibernating human communities and the natural systems that support them, Recognizing how winter sleep has created opportunities for harmony between human civilization and ecological processes that were impossible during more active periods. The natural world's embrace of hibernating humanity represents perhaps the most beautiful example of interspecies cooperation and mutual support. As winter progresses through its deepest months, the relationship between sleeping humans and their natural environment demonstrates that human survival and comfort need not require separation from or domination over natural systems. Instead, hibernation has created opportunities for integration and cooperation that support both human flourishing and ecological health, showing that human communities can exist within natural cycles rather than fighting against them. The natural world's embrace of hibernating humanity creates environments of safety, beauty, and support that demonstrate the remarkable capacity of ecological systems to accommodate and protect vulnerable populations. In learning to sleep within natural cycles, humans have discovered forms of environmental harmony that were impossible during more active periods, creating relationships with the natural world that benefit both human communities and the ecological systems that support all life. Chapter 7. Dreams of the Deep Sleep. Within the profound rest of hibernation lies perhaps the most extraordinary aspect of this biological transformation: the unique realm of consciousness that emerges during winter sleep. These are not ordinary dreams that visit sleeping minds for brief hours, but rather extended journeys through inner landscapes that can span what feels like weeks or months, creating experiences of such depth and meaning that they often become the most treasured memories of those who have learned to hibernate. Picture yourself settling into the deepest phase of hibernation sleep as January moves toward February, your consciousness beginning to slip away from ordinary awareness and into realms of experience that exist beyond normal categories of sleeping and waking. Your brain waves slow to patterns that barely register on monitoring equipment. Yet within this apparent stillness emerges a rich inner life that unfolds with the patient development of seasons themselves. The dreams that arise during hibernation differ fundamentally from ordinary sleep experiences in their duration, coherence, and profound sense of reality. Where normal dreams might last minutes and fade quickly upon awakening, hibernation dreams can feel as though they continue for days or weeks, maintaining consistent narratives and developing themes with the thoroughness of lived experience. These extended dream states often become so vivid and meaningful that hibernators speak of them as journeys to other worlds rather than simple sleep phenomena. Imagine finding yourself in one of these hibernation dreams, perhaps walking through landscapes that seem simultaneously familiar and impossible, where the laws of physics operate with dream logic, but the emotional reality feels more intense and authentic than waking life. Colors appear more vivid than any scene in ordinary consciousness, while sounds carry meanings that transcend simple auditory information. Every element of the dream environment seems infused with significance that speaks directly to the deepest levels of understanding. The temporal experience within hibernation dreams creates one of their most remarkable characteristics. Time moves with fluid flexibility that allows dreamers to experience entire lifetimes within single dream sequences, while other dreams unfold with such detailed attention to moments that minutes of dream time feel like hours of careful observation. This temporal fluidity reflects the brain's liberation from normal time constraints during hibernation, creating opportunities for consciousness to explore experience at its own natural pace. The content of hibernation dreams often reflects themes of renewal, transformation, and connection to natural cycles that mirror the biological processes occurring in the sleeping body. Dreamers frequently find themselves in spring landscapes even during the depths of winter, experiencing symbolic representations of the renewal and rebirth that hibernation makes possible. Gardens bloom in dream consciousness while the dreamer's body rests in winter cold, creating internal experiences of growth and vitality that prepare the psyche for eventual spring awakening. Picture yourself moving through one of these renewal dreams, perhaps tending a garden that grows with magical speed and abundance, each plant you touch responding with immediate flowering and fruit. The satisfaction and joy of this dream gardening feels completely real and deeply nourishing, providing psychological sustenance that supports the dreamer through months of physical rest. These symbolic experiences of creativity and growth often feel more meaningful than many waking activities. The social dimensions of hibernation dreams create some of their most moving and significant aspects. Dreamers often encounter friends, family members, and even strangers in dream scenarios that allow for conversations and interactions of remarkable depth and emotional authenticity. These dream relationships frequently provide opportunities to resolve conflicts, express love, or explore connections that might be difficult in waking life, creating psychological healing and growth during the hibernation period. The way memory functions within hibernation dreams allows for encounters with deceased loved ones that feel completely real and profoundly comforting. The brain's altered neurochemistry during hibernation seems to enable access to memory stores in ways that create vivid, interactive experiences with people from the dreamer's past. These dream reunions often provide closure, comfort, and continuation of relationships that transcend ordinary categories of life and death. Imagine sharing a hibernation dream with a beloved grandparent who died years ago, sitting together in a dream version of their kitchen while engaging in conversation that feels as real and meaningful as any interaction you shared during their lifetime. The emotional satisfaction and healing that such dreams provide often represents one of the most treasured aspects of the hibernation experience for many people. The creative potential that emerges during hibernation dreams often surprises dreamers with its sophistication and beauty. Artists report composing music, writing poetry, or creating visual art within dreams that surpasses their ordinary creative abilities. The brain's liberation from normal constraints during hibernation seems to unlock creative capacities that remain largely inaccessible during waking consciousness, producing dream creations of remarkable beauty and meaning. The learning and insight that occur during hibernation dreams often provide solutions to problems that have puzzled the dreamer for months or years. The slow, deep processing that characterizes hibernation consciousness allows the mind to approach challenges from entirely new perspectives, often resulting in breakthrough understanding that feels like sudden illumination. Many hibernators report awakening in spring with solutions to personal or professional challenges that eluded them before winter sleep. Picture yourself working through a complex personal challenge within a hibernation dream, perhaps finding yourself in conversation with wise dream figures who offer perspectives and insights that feel both surprising and obviously correct. The understanding that emerges from these dream consultations often provides lasting guidance that influences major life decisions long after the hibernation period ends. The spiritual dimensions of hibernation dreams frequently provide experiences of transcendence and connection that many dreamers describe as the most profound spiritual encounters of their lives. Dreams of flying, dissolving into light, or merging with natural forces create direct experiences of unity and transcendence that traditional spiritual practices might take years to achieve. These mystical hibernation dreams often fundamentally alter the dreamer's understanding of consciousness and reality. The healing that occurs during hibernation dreams operates on multiple levels, addressing not only psychological and emotional wounds, but often seeming to support physical healing processes as well. Dreamers report experiences of being bathed in healing light, receiving treatment from dream healers, or simply experiencing their bodies as perfectly healthy and vital within dream consciousness. These healing dreams seem to coordinate with the physical restoration that hibernation provides. Imagine experiencing one of these healing dreams, perhaps finding yourself immersed in warm, golden light that seems to penetrate every cell of your dream body, dissolving tension, pain, and illness while filling you with vitality and well-being. The physiological relaxation and regeneration that often follow such dreams suggest real therapeutic effects that complement the physical benefits of hibernation rest. The way hibernation dreams integrate and process the experiences of the preceding year creates opportunities for psychological growth and understanding that might be impossible during more active periods. The mind's slow, thorough approach to memory processing during hibernation allows for integration of experiences at depths that create lasting wisdom and emotional maturity. Many hibernators report emerging from winter sleep with significantly improved self-understanding and emotional intelligence. The archetypal dimensions of hibernation dreams often connect dreamers with universal symbols and themes that transcend personal experience. Dreams of ancient forests, cosmic cycles, and mythological figures provide access to collective human wisdom that feels both ancient and immediately relevant. These archetypal dreams often provide guidance and meaning that influences the dreamer's life direction long after awakening. Picture yourself in one of these archetypal hibernation dreams, perhaps standing in an ancient grove where trees seem to whisper secrets of life cycles and natural wisdom, or finding yourself in conversation with figures from mythology who offer guidance relevant to your personal journey. The profound sense of connection to something larger than individual experience often becomes a defining aspect of hibernation for many dreamers. The prophetic quality that sometimes characterizes hibernation dreams creates experiences that seem to offer glimpses of possible futures or deeper understanding of current situations. While these dreams should not be interpreted as literal predictions, they often provide insights about the direction of the dreamer's life or intuitive understanding of developing situations that prove remarkably accurate when spring arrives. The way hibernation dreams blend memory, imagination, and intuitive knowing creates unique forms of consciousness that many dreamers struggle to describe in ordinary language. These dreams often feel more real than waking life, while containing elements that could never exist in physical reality, creating experiences that expand the dreamer's understanding of what consciousness can encompass. Imagine trying to describe one of these profound hibernation dreams to someone who has never experienced hibernation sleep, searching for words that could convey the unique quality of consciousness that feels simultaneously deeply personal and universally meaningful. The linguistic challenge of describing hibernation dreams often leads dreamers to poetry, art, or music as more adequate forms of expression. Chapter 8. The Gentle Awakening. As winter gradually loosens its grip and the first subtle signs of spring begin to emerge in the natural world, hibernating humans start their own gentle transition back toward active consciousness. This awakening process unfolds with the same gradual patience that characterized the entry into hibernation, taking place over days or weeks as the body slowly reverses the remarkable adaptations that enabled months of winter sleep. Picture yourself in the early stages of hibernation awakening, still deep in sleep, but beginning to experience subtle changes in the quality and content of your dreams. Where hibernation dreams had been flowing through consciousness with their characteristic depth and meaning, now they begin to take on lighter qualities, incorporating more movement, brighter colors, and themes that suggest renewal and return to activity. Your dreaming mind begins its preparation for the return to waking life. The first physiological changes of awakening often begin before any conscious awareness returns, as your body's internal systems start the complex process of reversing hibernation adaptations. Core body temperature begins its gradual rise, increasing by fractions of a degree over many days until it reaches the levels that will support active metabolism. This temperature change occurs so slowly that it never creates discomfort or stress, instead feeling like a gentle internal warming that supports rather than disrupts continued rest. Your heart rate begins its own gradual acceleration during the awakening process, adding perhaps 1 beat per minute every few days as your cardiovascular system prepares to support the increased circulation demands of active life. This cardiac awakening happens with such gentle progression that the sleeping consciousness experiences it as a gradual strengthening of life force rather than any kind of disturbance to rest. Imagine the sensation of your breathing beginning to deepen and quicken during awakening, each breath gradually becoming fuller and more frequent as your respiratory system prepares to support active metabolism. This breathing change often coincides with dreams of fresh air, spring breezes, or activities that require deeper breathing, as the unconscious mind begins to anticipate the return to movement and activity. The metabolic awakening that reverses hibernation represents one of the most remarkable biological processes humans can experience. Enzyme systems that have operated at minimal levels throughout winter begin increasing their activity with precise timing that ensures adequate energy production without overwhelming the systems that have been resting for months. This metabolic acceleration occurs with such smooth efficiency that it supports awakening without creating fatigue or stress. Your digestive system begins its own awakening process during this period, gradually resuming the muscular activity and secretory functions that will soon be needed to process food. Stomach and intestinal walls slowly increase their activity levels, while digestive enzymes begin returning to concentrations that will support nutrition absorption. This digestive awakening often coincides with the first hunger sensations experienced in months. Picture yourself beginning to experience the gentle return of appetite during awakening, first as vague dreams of favorite foods or pleasant eating experiences, then as actual physical sensations of hunger that feel welcome rather than uncomfortable. This return of appetite signals the body's readiness to resume nutrition intake and represents one of the most obvious signs that hibernation is coming to an end. The neurological awakening that brings consciousness back from hibernation depths represents perhaps the most fascinating aspect of the awakening process. Brain activity gradually increases from the minimal patterns that characterize deep hibernation, with different brain regions awakening in coordinated sequence that ensures smooth transition back to normal consciousness. Memory centers, motor control areas, and higher cognitive functions each resume activity in carefully orchestrated timing. The quality of dreams during awakening often becomes increasingly active and social, reflecting the brain's preparation for return to interpersonal interaction and community life. Dreams begin featuring more people, more conversation, and more activities that require coordination with others. These social dreams often feel like rehearsals for the renewed community connections that await when awakening is complete. Imagine experiencing one of these social awakening dreams, perhaps finding yourself in dream scenarios that involve coordinating activities with friends or participating in community events that require active engagement. The excitement and anticipation that these dreams generate often provides emotional preparation for the return of social life after months of solitary rest. The muscular awakening that prepares the body for movement after months of stillness occurs with remarkable efficiency and comfort. Muscle fibers gradually increase their tone and responsiveness, while joints and connective tissues slowly resume their normal flexibility and strength. This physical awakening happens gradually enough that it never creates stiffness or discomfort, instead feeling like a pleasant return of bodily vitality. The sensory awakening that brings the external world back into awareness unfolds with beautiful subtlety during the transition period. Hearing becomes gradually more acute, allowing the sleeping consciousness to become aware of spring, sounds like birds returning or ice melting. Vision slowly becomes more responsive to light changes, while touch sensitivity increases to prepare for interaction with the physical environment. Picture yourself beginning to hear the sounds of spring through your awakening consciousness, perhaps bird songs or the gentle dripping of melting snow that penetrates hibernation awareness like nature's own alarm clock. These natural awakening sounds feel welcoming rather than intrusive, providing gentle invitation back to the waking world rather than harsh interruption of rest. The hormonal changes that coordinate awakening represent remarkable feats of biological timing and precision. Melatonin production gradually decreases while cortisol and other activating hormones slowly increase, creating hormonal environments that support alertness and activity without creating the stress that rapid hormonal changes might cause. Growth hormone levels adjust to support the cellular repair and growth that will be needed for return to active life. The emotional aspects of awakening often include feelings of anticipation, gratitude, and gentle excitement about returning to active life and community connection. The deep rest and restoration of hibernation typically create emotional states characterized by peace, contentment, and renewed appreciation for life's experiences. Many people report that awakening from hibernation feels like being reborn with fresh perspective and enhanced capacity for joy. Imagine the emotional state that characterizes hibernation awakening, feeling simultaneously deeply rested and eagerly anticipatory about returning to active life. The months of profound rest often create emotional clarity and renewed enthusiasm for relationships, activities, and goals that may have felt overwhelming before hibernation. This emotional renewal represents one of hibernation's most valuable benefits. The cognitive awakening that restores full mental function unfolds with gradual return of memory, concentration, and problem-solving abilities. Thoughts become gradually clearer and more organized, while decision-making capacity slowly returns to normal levels. The slow processing that characterized hibernation consciousness gives way to the quick, flexible thinking that active life requires. The social awakening that prepares hibernating individuals for return to community life often begins with increased awareness of other people's presence and gradual desire for interaction and communication. The months of solitary rest typically create enhanced appreciation for social connection and renewed capacity for empathy and emotional intimacy with others. Picture yourself becoming gradually aware of other community members who are also beginning their awakening process, perhaps sensing their presence or beginning to desire contact and communication after months of peaceful solitude. This social awakening often feels like flowers beginning to turn toward each other as they emerge from winter soil. The physical coordination that supports return to movement and activity develops gradually during awakening, with reflexes and motor skills slowly returning to their pre-hibernation levels. Balance, coordination, and fine motor control all resume normal function through gentle progression that avoids any awkwardness or difficulty with movement. The return of circadian rhythms during awakening reestablishes normal sleep-wake cycles as consciousness prepares for the regular daily rhythms of active life. Internal biological clocks slowly resume their normal timing, coordinating body temperature, hormone production, and energy levels with day-night cycles that will govern post-hibernation life. Imagine your internal clock slowly synchronizing with natural daily rhythms during awakening, gradually becoming aware of sunrise and sunset while developing normal patterns of alertness and sleepiness that will support healthy daily routines. This circadian awakening often feels like rejoining the rhythm of life itself after months of existing outside normal time. The nutritional awakening that prepares the digestive system for food intake often begins with gradual return of taste and smell sensitivity, while the stomach and intestines slowly resume their capacity to process nutrition. The first meals after hibernation are typically simple and small, allowing the digestive system to gradually resume full function without creating discomfort or digestive stress. The community awakening that reunites hibernating individuals with their neighbors and friends often represents the most joyful aspect of the spring transition. As awakening progresses, community members gradually emerge from their hibernation chambers, greeting each other with the enhanced appreciation and emotional warmth that months of separation create. These reunions often feel like celebrations of renewed life and restored connection. Picture yourself experiencing one of these community reunions, meeting friends and neighbors who are also emerging from hibernation with the joy and excitement of people who have been separated for a long journey and are finally returning home. The conversations, laughter, and shared stories of hibernation experiences often create some of the most meaningful social connections people experience. The spring awakening culminates in full return to active consciousness and engagement with daily life. But this return is characterized by the deep rest, emotional clarity, and renewed vitality that hibernation has provided. Rather than simply returning to pre-hibernation states, people often find that they have emerged from winter sleep with enhanced capacities for joy, creativity, and meaningful engagement with life. The hibernation cycle has provided not just rest, but genuine renewal and growth that enriches all subsequent experience. As awakening completes and spring truly arrives, hibernating humans step back into active life, carrying with them the profound gifts that winter sleep has provided: deep physical restoration, emotional clarity, enhanced creativity, spiritual insights, and renewed appreciation for both solitude and community. The hibernation experience transforms not just winter, but the entire year, creating annual cycles of rest and activity that support human flourishing in ways that constant activity never could achieve. Chapter 9. The Spring Reunion. The emergence of hibernating communities into spring consciousness creates one of the most beautiful and emotionally powerful experiences that human society can offer. After months of peaceful separation, the gradual reunification of friends, families, and neighbors unfolds with the same gentle timing that characterizes all aspects of the hibernation cycle, creating opportunities for connection and celebration that feel simultaneously like homecoming and rebirth. Picture yourself among the first community members to fully awaken as spring settles over your hibernation town. Stepping outside your hibernation chamber for the first time in months to discover neighbors also emerging from their winter rest. The joy of these first encounters after hibernation often feels overwhelming in its intensity, as months of separation have created enhanced appreciation for human connection, while the deep rest of winter has prepared hearts and minds for profound emotional intimacy. The timing of spring awakening varies naturally among community members, creating a beautiful progression of reunification that unfolds over days or weeks rather than happening all at once. This gradual emergence allows each person to awaken at their own natural pace, while ensuring that no one faces the transition back to social life without the support and welcome of those who have awakened earlier. The community comes back to life like a garden where different flowers bloom in sequence. Imagine the experience of greeting the first neighbor you encounter after hibernation, seeing their face for the first time in months, and recognizing both familiar features and subtle changes that the winter rest has brought. Many people report that friends and family members look younger, more peaceful, and somehow more themselves after hibernation, as if the winter sleep has allowed their truest nature to emerge more clearly than before. The physical vitality that hibernation provides often becomes immediately apparent during spring reunions, as community members discover enhanced energy, clearer thinking, and improved health that makes spring activities feel effortless and joyful. The months of deep rest have restored bodies and minds to levels of function that many people haven't experienced since childhood, creating springtime communities filled with adults who feel and act decades younger than their chronological age. The emotional clarity that hibernation produces creates reunion experiences characterized by unusually direct and authentic communication. After months of inner reflection and dream processing, people often emerge from hibernation with clearer understanding of their feelings, values, and relationships, leading to conversations and connections that feel more honest and meaningful than typical social interactions. Picture yourself engaged in one of these post-hibernation conversations, perhaps with a friend or family member with whom you've shared years of relationship, but never quite achieved the depth of understanding that now seems effortless. The winter processing has often resolved internal conflicts and clarified emotions in ways that enable unprecedented intimacy and authenticity in relationships. The community activities that mark spring reunion often become celebrations that combine practical necessity with joyful festivity. Hibernation chambers need to be cleaned and aired out, Community spaces require preparation for active season use, and food systems must transition from winter preservation to fresh spring production. These practical tasks become opportunities for collaborative celebration that strengthens community bonds while accomplishing essential work. The sharing of hibernation experiences creates some of the most fascinating and meaningful conversations that spring reunion communities enjoy. Dream stories, insights gained during winter reflection, and creative inspiration that emerged during hibernation are shared among community members, creating rich exchanges that often influence community culture and individual relationships for the entire coming year. Imagine gathering with a group of newly awakened community members to share hibernation dreams and insights, discovering common themes and complementary experiences that suggest deep connections between individual inner journeys and collective community wisdom. These sharing sessions often reveal that hibernation has provided not just individual restoration, but community-wide growth and understanding. The creative explosion that often follows hibernation creates spring communities filled with artistic activity and innovative thinking. Musicians who compose dream symphonies during winter sleep work to capture and perform their hibernation-inspired creations, while visual artists, writers, and inventors pursue projects that emerged from winter consciousness. Spring becomes a season of remarkable creative productivity fueled by hibernation inspiration. The relationships between hibernating and non-hibernating community members require special attention during spring reunion, as those who remained active during winter have had different experiences that must be integrated with the insights and changes that hibernation has brought to sleeping community members. These integration processes often strengthen community bonds while respecting the different paths that various members have traveled. Picture yourself reconnecting with community members who served as winter caretakers, learning about their experiences of guardian service while sharing your own journey through hibernation rest. The mutual respect and gratitude that often characterizes these exchanges creates some of the deepest bonds that community life can offer, based on trust, service, and complementary experiences of the winter season. The children's experience of spring reunion often provides some of the most delightful aspects of community reawakening, as young people emerge from hibernation with the enhanced growth and development that winter rest provides. Children often appear to have matured significantly during hibernation, displaying new capabilities, interests, and understanding that surprise and delight their families and community. The planning and preparation for the coming active season becomes a natural focus for reuniting communities, as people work together to organize the concentrated productivity that will characterize spring, summer, and autumn months. The enhanced energy and clarity that hibernation provides often enables more efficient and creative planning than was possible before winter rest, leading to active seasons of unprecedented accomplishment and satisfaction. Chapter 10. Renewed life. As spring progresses and hibernation communities fully reintegrate into active life, the profound transformation that winter sleep has provided becomes increasingly apparent in every aspect of human experience. The hibernation cycle has created not just physical rest, but fundamental renewal that touches every dimension of life, from individual health and creativity to community relationships and collective accomplishment. The physical vitality that emerges from hibernation often surpasses anything that community members experience before learning to hibernate. Bodies that have undergone months of deep cellular repair and regeneration function with efficiency and energy that feel miraculous compared to pre-hibernation states. Chronic health conditions often improve dramatically or disappear entirely, while energy levels and physical capabilities reach peaks that many people haven't experienced since early adulthood. Picture yourself discovering the enhanced physical capabilities that hibernation has provided, perhaps finding that activities which once felt challenging now seem effortless, or that chronic pain or fatigue that plagued you for years has simply vanished after winter's deep healing. The physical renewal that hibernation provides often feels like receiving a completely new body that functions better than the original ever did. The mental clarity and cognitive enhancement that follow hibernation create intellectual capabilities that often surprise hibernators with their scope and power. Memory, concentration, problem-solving ability, and creative thinking all benefit from the neural reorganization and repair that occur during winter sleep. While the slow, deep processing of hibernation consciousness often provides insights and understanding that dramatically improve decision-making and life management. The emotional maturity and psychological health that hibernation supports create individuals who are better equipped to handle life's challenges while finding greater satisfaction in daily experiences. The inner work and reflection that characterize hibernation consciousness often resolve long-standing emotional conflicts and psychological patterns, enabling post-hibernation life that feels more authentic, peaceful, and genuinely fulfilling. Imagine the sense of emotional freedom and authentic self-expression that often follows hibernation, as winter's inner work has cleared away psychological barriers and self-limiting beliefs that may have constrained your life for years. The psychological renewal that hibernation provides often enables people to pursue dreams and relationships that previously seemed impossible or too risky to attempt. The spiritual growth and expanded consciousness that hibernation facilitates often become permanent aspects of post-hibernation life, as the transcendent experiences and mystical insights gained during winter sleep continue to influence daily experience long after awakening. Many hibernators report that their understanding of life's meaning and their connection to something larger than individual existence has been fundamentally and permanently enhanced. The relationship changes that hibernation creates often improve family bonds, friendships, and community connections in ways that strengthen social fabric and create more supportive, authentic interpersonal environments. The enhanced empathy, emotional clarity, and appreciation for human connection that hibernation provides often transforms relationships in directions that benefit everyone involved. Picture yourself experiencing the enhanced capacity for love, understanding, and emotional intimacy that hibernation has provided, finding that relationships with family members, friends, and community become sources of joy and fulfillment in ways that surpass your previous experience. The relational renewal that hibernation supports often becomes one of its most treasured benefits. The creative enhancement that hibernation provides often enables artistic and innovative accomplishments that exceed anything hibernators achieved before winter sleep. The expanded consciousness and creative insights that emerge from hibernation dreams and reflection often provide inspiration for projects, artistic works, and innovations that enrich both individual lives and community culture. The work and productivity improvements that follow hibernation often enable professional and personal accomplishments that feel effortless compared to pre-hibernation efforts. Enhanced energy, mental clarity, and creative thinking combine with improved emotional regulation and stress management to create work capabilities that often surprise hibernators with their scope and effectiveness. Imagine approaching your professional and creative work with the enhanced capabilities that hibernation has provided, finding that projects which once felt overwhelming now seem manageable and engaging, while new possibilities and opportunities become apparent that you never noticed before winter sleep. The productive capacity that hibernation enables often transforms entire life trajectories. The environmental awareness and ecological sensitivity that hibernation develops often create lasting changes in how hibernators relate to the natural world. The deep connection to natural cycles and the enhanced appreciation for environmental harmony that hibernation provides often inspire lifestyle changes and environmental advocacy that benefit both individual well-being and ecological health. The community leadership and social contribution that hibernation-enhanced individuals often provide creates positive changes that benefit entire communities and sometimes extend to influence broader social and cultural developments. The wisdom, energy, and expanded perspective that hibernation provides often enable hibernators to make contributions to community life that exceed their previous capabilities. Picture yourself contributing to your community's well-being with the enhanced wisdom, energy, and perspective that hibernation has provided, perhaps taking on leadership roles or creative projects that seem beyond your capabilities before winter sleep. The community service that hibernation-enhanced individuals often provide creates positive changes that benefit everyone around them. The life satisfaction and fulfillment that hibernation creates often enable hibernators to experience daily life with enhanced appreciation, joy, and sense of meaning that transforms ordinary activities into sources of genuine happiness. The renewal that hibernation provides often enables people to find satisfaction and contentment in life circumstances that previously felt limiting or disappointing. The aging process often appears to slow or reverse for regular hibernators, as the deep cellular repair and regeneration that winter sleep provides seems to counter many of the biological processes that characterize aging. Many long-term hibernators appear and feel significantly younger than their chronological age would suggest, while maintaining health and vitality that exceed normal expectations for their age group. Imagine looking in the mirror after several years of regular hibernation and seeing a face that appears decades younger than your chronological age, feeling energy and physical capability that surpass what you experienced in your 20s or 30s. The anti-aging effects that hibernation provides often feel like discovering the fountain of youth that humans have sought for millennia. The wisdom and life perspective that accumulate through years of hibernation cycles often create individuals who possess unusual depth of understanding and capacity for guidance that benefits not only their own lives, but the lives of others who seek their counsel and example. The accumulated insights from multiple hibernation experiences often provide wisdom that feels both practical and profound. The legacy and long-term impact that hibernation-enhanced lives create often extend far beyond individual benefit to influence families, communities, and sometimes broader cultural developments and directions that support human flourishing and environmental harmony. The transformation that hibernation provides often enables individuals to make lasting contributions that benefit future generations. As the hibernation cycle becomes an established part of human life, creating annual rhythms of rest and renewal that support rather than constrain human potential, the cumulative benefits often exceed what any single hibernation experience could provide. Each winter sleep builds upon previous hibernation benefits, creating progressive enhancement and growth that continues throughout the lifespan. The hibernation-transformed life represents perhaps humanity's most beautiful adaptation to natural cycles, creating ways of living that honor both human potential and ecological harmony, while providing levels of health, happiness, and fulfillment that constant activity could never achieve. In learning to sleep with the seasons, humans have discovered not just rest, but renewal that transforms every aspect of existence, creating lives that feel both deeply natural and remarkably enhanced. The integration of hibernation into human culture creates communities and societies that operate in harmony with natural rhythms, while achieving levels of creativity, productivity, and social cooperation that exceed anything possible under constant activity patterns. Hibernation has provided not just individual transformation, but collective evolution that demonstrates humanity's capacity to adapt to natural cycles in ways that benefit both human flourishing and planetary health.